Welcome to the Tactical Dent Tech Podcast. You are now part of a small underground movement of dent technicians from all over the world. We are on a mission to change our industry with innovation, intelligence, and skill. But because we don't rely on an insurance company to steer customers our way, we need to do things different. We need to do things smarter. We do that through a network of technicians that we call the Tactical Tech Movement. Now let's get this revolution started. Hey, what's up, everybody? John Hiley here with the Tactical Dent Tech Podcast, bringing you a Marketing Monday, with Angela Hiley, of course. She was glaring at me like, is he going to introduce me?
How dare you?
She has neck cramps today.
No, I fucked up the side of my neck.
She walking around like she got like a stiff neck, like she got to turn her whole body to look one way.
No. What happened was I was cleaning out my closets. Closets, 2 of them, on Saturday night. Woo!
She ain't bullshitting either.
Me and the hubby.
Oh, yeah, that's what we do. You never know, little Home Depot, maybe some Olive Garden. Who knows? We're pretty crazy like that.
No, I had to throw away a bunch of clothing that I was... It's so weird, though. Like, I was even telling John this. Like, there was, like, certain clothing that I've held on for, like, 5 or 6 years. Certain pieces of clothing, right? And I would always be like, I would hold on to it and be like, no, I can't get rid of it. I'll wear it. And I would never wear it. And anytime I'd ever try to donate it, basically I donate all my clothes. But anytime that I went to try and donate it, I couldn't get rid of it. And I started having anxiety. And I was just like, why in the hell am I doing this
She's
for?
like a hoarder.
No, I am not a hoarder because I clean out my closets once a year, a good clean. And any type of clothing that has been in there for a long period of time that hasn't been worn, it needs to go to Goodwill.
You guys all remember that show that was on there for a while called Hoarders?
I think it's still on TLC.
That was absolutely hilarious. If it's on there, I need to go back and watch it because I really got a kick out of some of them episodes.
But that's how I messed up my neck or whatever. I think I turned it too quickly and it just got kinked or something.
There was a lady that literally would not get rid of an old toilet seat.
No, that is not me because it
was in her front yard. She had an old toilet seat in her front yard, and they go out there and they give them an ultimatum. Will they let it go or not? And she just looked down at that old dirty toilet seat laying in her front yard and shook her head and kind of bit her nail and said, I can't let this go.
Oh, I have no problem throwing away a lot of stuff. Just for some reason, like a certain piece of clothing, I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with me?
Here's the interesting thing. We could literally open up a store with the amount of clothes that she has.
No.
And on top of that, almost every other thing still has the tag on it.
That was stuff that I've had. Number one, I never paid retail price for it. I got it on sale.
See, this is how they this is how addicts like justify. She's like, well, number one, I never paid a retail price.
No, I mean, I've paid retail price for some things.
Sure.
But not normally what it is like if it's had tags on it and I haven't worn it, I got it on sale for a really cheap price and was just like, oh, I'm going to wear it, and then I never wear it.
She tells me the other day there's this handbag there, and she goes, that's a blah, blah, blah brand. That's such a good deal. I should buy it. And I looked at it, and I'm like, you're never going to wear it. But she's like, but that's such a good deal. And I'm like, well, why don't you let somebody who would wear it find it?
I was thinking about it, but then I was just like, you know what, John is right. But if it was black,
you get to give them the good deal.
If it was a black handbag,
if it was
black and it had the if it had like silver, the silver.
There's some dudes pieces right now just shaking their head listening to this podcast.
Listen, it was a handbag, and it retailed for like $450, and Nordstrom's Rack had it marked down for $80. I'm like,
so
what
she's
the
like,
fuck?
I would never use it, but I'll buy it anyway because it's such a good deal. And I'm like, babe, how about you let somebody who really would wear it?
Well, I think it was a cute handbag, but then John told me it reminded him of like an older lady that would.
Oh yeah.
And then I was just like, oh okay.
Brown with gold all over it.
It was a nice leather handbag.
Yeah. Okay.
Really was.
So, moving on from that there. Now you guys see what I'm dealing with here. So moving on to there.
You have a good woman.
Yeah, okay.
You know you do.
So anyhow, moving on from that subject there, we're going to be talking about something that's kind of in the line of that, but a little bit different. It's it's going to be about how to market, position yourself as being rare and how important that is, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because truly, if you're not rare in your market, or if you're not perceived by your ideal clients or your ideal customers as being rare, then you're just a commodity.
Mm-hmm.
Basically meaning they could line up all your competitors, look at all of them and look at you, and see no difference whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
Or no competitive advantage over using you rather than your competition or your competitors, okay? But we're going to take a step back before we get into the service end of this, and we're going to talk a little bit about why rare works. And it's exactly why it works, because typically it has scarcity to it. There's not as many out there. There's not as much available, and that's where diamonds came in, you know?
It's hard being a diamond in a rhinestone world.
That's right. So women like diamonds because it was a rare stone, right? I don't know how freaking rare diamonds are now. I mean, it seems like they're everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But I will tell you, they're still fucking expensive, which makes them rare, and they're not just a commodity.
Yeah.
Go find a piece of damn turquoise or some shit like that anywhere.
No, turquoise is expensive too.
Whatever. There's little polished rocks and shit like that everywhere. You know, you can find that stuff. Crystal, cubic zirconia.
Yeah.
You know, at one time she told me, she was like, well, I don't like diamonds because they're rare. I'm like, well, why don't I just get you some cubic zirconias? Because they look like diamonds. She's like, no. Because
I'm not
women want...
I'm not a big jewelry person.
Everybody wants something that's rare. Think about all you gun guys, right? I mean, what do you do when you get an Ed Brown in your hands, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or some sort of custom-made pistol that was only made once, or, you know, something to that nature. Anything that has that sense of being rare to it is going to be more valuable. And, you know, you can actually see that in a lot of things when it comes to marketing. I mean, every year there's some new fucking stupid toy that comes out that they purposely, this is by design. It's basically, it has a high demand.
Yeah.
It has scarcity behind it.
Mm-hmm.
People want it. It's going to be rare because people aren't going to get that little fucking toy for another year.
Yeah, or they only make so many of them, like a certain edition. They only make so many of them.
And what do all the kids want?
They want that fucking toy. Mm-hmm.
They want that toy because it has scarcity behind it. It has urgency behind it because mom and dad got to get it fast.
Yeah.
You know, before it gets sold, if they even have the availability to get it.
Or even if somebody buys one, then they like jack the price up.
And they jack the price up. Mom and dad has to pay more.
Yeah.
Because now it's much more valuable than the actual cost of the item because of these things, you know, because it literally has scarcity behind it. Urgency means you got to buy it fast or somebody else is going to buy it.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, it's rare.
Yes.
Right? So I'll give you guys an example. We just sold out the hammers that we dropped. I am pretty honest with people. I'm like, you know, we only drop a certain amount because we want them to be rare.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want everybody to have them. You know what I mean? I know that sounds weird and it sounds odd. You guys would think I just want to sell as many as possible. But I look a little bit more into the long-term game. And to be honest with you, a lot of times my time can be invested much more profitable than making a tool.
Yeah.
And, you know, so it's like one of them kind of things that I fill my time with certain times of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And I do it because I love it. It's fun.
Yeah, it is fun.
But I really can be making more money in other arenas.
Yeah.
You know? So because of that, I want to keep my tools scarce and rare.
And then when somebody gets it, they're like, oh, this is my precious.
Well, and see, what a lot of people don't realize is that we do a lot of the assembly of that hammer.
Yeah.
So, you know, the handles, they got to be made a certain way. You know, a lot of that stuff is done right here by us.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm cutting the carbon fiber, you know.
John won't let me use the saw out there. I was so stoked
she'll
about...
get her hair caught in it or something.
I don't know. I won't. He wouldn't let me. Anytime I wanted to cut that, he's like, nope. As soon as we got the saw out and as soon as we got all the carbon fiber in stock, did John let me cut one? Nope.
John cut them all.
John cut them all.
And I didn't see her rushing over there to kick me out of the way either.
No, but I told you.
Now, I did let you polish balls.
Yes. Yeah.
And you had a high-powered drill in your hands.
And I did a really good job at polishing them.
Yeah.
Boys.
As any of you know who had recently got a polished ball, it came from her.
Yours truly.
So that being said, that's why they sell out so quickly, you know, is because I'll position them. We kind of wish we would have got double the amount this time.
Yeah.
Because we expected it to be a 2-day sale, and it only lasted about 10 hours. It lasted that morning till that evening.
Yeah.
And
that was exciting to watch it. I'm like, oh my gosh.
It was exciting. They sold
really
fast.
Want them things.
Yeah, they sold relatively fast. I think we sent out maybe a couple emails and did a little bit of Facebook. We never ran any ads. We didn't spend any money or anything like that. Because, you know, again, we kind of built it up a few weeks ahead of time.
Some people got in there and bought a couple of them.
Yeah. And but again, that's it. You know what I mean? People know that one specific model is only going to come around once.
Yeah.
We give a hell of a deal too. I mean, I got to say that compared to, you know, whenever I first started selling the hammers, I had to go through a couple manufacturers to find somebody who wasn't what I feel like ripping me off.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, I ended up getting the price of the heads of the hammers cut for 50% of what I was paying originally.
Mm-hmm.
And the people, their quality is phenomenal. It was like 10 times better quality.
Yeah.
They're right here in Dayton, Ohio,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and like I've even had people, I had a guy come in who he's really kind of connected with Steck down here. You guys might know some Steck body tools. I had a guy coming in, was connected to them, and, you know, actually took a look at the handle that we have that we're going to be dropping. And he basically said it was surgical grade, the way they cut it.
Yeah.
And I had to agree with him because the other machine shops that I'd used in the past, I mean, they always had to rough an edge out, or it seemed like they just were never as precise as this company that we use now.
Yeah.
And so they take like serious measure of, you know, I don't want to say pride, but they're just very, very good at what they do.
And they're extremely nice.
Kind of odd group, but
Just,
you know,
yeah, but I mean,
it's a father-son operation, and they got some employees there.
Yeah.
But man, if you just look at the stuff they have, even when you walk into their door, they got a display of all the stuff that they make, and I don't know what half of it even goes on, but it's all like some of the best machine work that I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
And again, they're a little bit more reasonable, so I was able to bring the price of the hammer down.
Yeah.
So, which is good. I get it for cheaper, and you get it cheaper as well.
Yep. And
So-
everybody's happy.
Everybody's happy.
Mm-hmm.
But that being said, y'all, I mean, that's the power of Rare when you're dropping a product, even in a little industry like ours.
Yeah.
You know, some of the things that I think you want to think about, or that I think about as a service-based technician, is are you an individual in your market that's making process videos? Because I will tell you, if you take the time to learn how to do a little bit of video work, make some videos of yourself and actually show a little bit of the process, now you become much more rare. We get a lot of people that walk through our doors that choose us simply because of that.
Yeah, they're like, oh, I just got done watching one of your videos on Facebook or on YouTube, and they were just kind of blown away, and they're like, that's why I'm here. I want to see if you can fix my vehicle and work your magic.
Yeah. And I'm not just talking about the production videos. I've got the What Is PDR on my website, and all them videos are good as well. You know, them videos are good. And that's one of the reasons why me and Mike, we only give out certain videos to people who attend the events, because we want it to be rare.
Yeah.
You know, we never resell them videos when they come to our events. Some of you guys may have seen the videos out there with the metal background, which is in my office. And working
I love
on her,
that video.
Yeah, working on her SRT8. And,
No, I love that. I love that video because that's like I would say any customer that watches that video, it's almost kind of like it's very emotional, and it just sucks you in, and you're like, that's who I trust, and that's who I want to work on my vehicle and fix it.
Yeah, and see, them are the things that make you stand out above and beyond your competition, and what's going to give you market share. You know, and not to mention, I will guarantee you, like anybody who is out there that you see, like
legitimately complaining about price shoppers and complaining about, there's too many technicians in their area. You could literally look at their advertisement and the things that they do, and it's either mediocre at best or literally speaking directly to the wrong client and customer.
Mm-hmm.
They're connecting with the people. They're bringing the same people into their life that they're complaining about.
Mm-hmm.
And I would almost go as far to say is that they are, like in a purchasing world, they are them people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? They're the exact type of people that they're complaining about.
Mm-hmm.
So when they go out, they try to find who's going to do it the most, like the dirt cheap. That's all they look at, And
Yeah.
they're going to attract that same type of person. I'll tell you guys, like, I am so far from that. I mean, we could literally have our stuff made in China, and we don't do it because that's not the type of people that we are.
Yeah.
I don't want my shit made, and I'm sorry. You know what I mean? And honestly, like, no disrespect, because some of my friends have their stuff made in China, and it comes out looking, some of the stuff comes out looking great. I see some of the headaches they deal with.
Yeah.
So no disrespect on anybody doing that, but that's not our values.
Yeah.
So our core values is right here in our city, putting people to work here locally.
Yeah.
And doing things here. And if it's got to cost a little bit more for that type of quality, and I like to say they're close enough I can get my hands around their neck. So that's going to be kind of important too, right? They're close enough you can get your hands around their neck.
I feel like you have better control of the situation.
Yeah, because there's nothing worse than contacting China and saying that they did a shitty job on something. They go,
Yeah.
they contact you, but they go, will you take half price? Like, no, motherfucker, I'm telling you, I can't sell it at all. You won't take half price?
I know you can't like physically go there and talk to them in person.
Yeah. And I'll kind of give you guys another example. I want to say over this month, we've sold a lot of websites.
Yeah.
It's kept us quite busy developing people's websites and stuff like that. And one of the key reasons that we sell so many is because we've developed a network around us that takes care of everything.
Mm-hmm.
So literally when people come to us, it's a turnkey solution.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I can't even tell you how many people. I was even talking to a guy in my gym who is working with a, so to speak, big agency to do his website.
Yeah.
Well, he's like, well, I got to write this and I got to do that and I got to do this. I said, well, what do you do for a living? And he's like, well, I'm an insurance agent, or not. I'm sorry, an insurance, not an agent. Yeah, an agent. So he's actually an insurance agent, right? I actually just I've talked to the guy plenty of times, but I never asked him what he did, anything like that. And he's seen that I went and spoke for Social Media Dayton, and he kind of follows me on Instagram and stuff like that. So he was asking me some questions about his new website that he has up and coming. Mm-hmm. And he told me, he's like, well, I got to write this and that. I was like, well, what do you do for a living? He says he's an insurance agent. I'm like, well, why would you be doing the copywriting?
Yeah.
He's like, well, the company, they want me to do it. And I'm like, yeah. So do you know how to do search engine optimization copywriting? Well, no. And I'm like, so here's the thing, man. Like literally, he goes, I told him, I'm like, dude, if you want me to help you, and he's like, well, man, I'll send you an email for sure. I was like, I could send it off to my guys, and you could just tell me how many years you've been doing it, what you've been doing, and that's it, man. They'll take over from there. They'll write all the search engine optimized. Give me 3 cities you want to market in. I'll let them know the 3 cities you want to market in, and bam, it's done.
Yeah.
Right? So it's odd to me, like in this world, that somebody who has a company that sells something such as websites, right?
Yeah.
That somebody would come to me and I wouldn't have a solution for everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
But come to find out, that actually makes me rare, because there's companies all over that literally they toss the ball back to the client who has no idea how to do any of this kind of stuff
Yeah.
and expects them to do it.
Yeah.
And not to mention, if they go and hire somebody, because see, I hire, so guys, I want to tell you guys, I keep like 5 copywriters busy all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I have so much copy being written all the time for all the websites that we manage that I keep so many people busy that I've got the prices negotiated at a point to where it's very fair for them, it's fair for us, and they love it because it's a ton of work that I give them,
And everybody's happy.
And everybody's happy. And I'm going to tell you guys something. I had to go through so many fucking people to get down to the people that I have.
Yeah.
And I still try people all the time. Like I recently tried another company, and it was so crazy. The copywriting they sent me was such shit. Like it was so bad. I had to literally send it back like 5 or 6 times to eventually get something somewhat that I could edit out myself.
Mm-hmm.
So we've done that. I had a lady who swore up and down that she was a corporate copywriter, and she could do such a great job at this for us.
Yeah.
I sent her off to do it. It was fucking horrible when it came back.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was unusable. So I would say probably out of 10 copywriters that I use or that I try at some point and that I invest money in, I probably get 3 of them that work out.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the other guys usually get me enough that I can probably take a little bit of it here and there, maybe turn it into a Facebook post, turn it into a small description on the back end of somebody's website, something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the next thing that I find is that I found that makes us super rare is that we do all this SEO stuff.
Yeah.
Some people and I couldn't believe that companies expected individuals to come up with all their keywords. It was just so odd to me.
I would honestly think that like if you're wanting a website built, you're reaching out for them to do something that you can't do.
Right.
So, I mean, your average person, when they're wanting a website built, they're not going to know how to copyright or how to do any of that other stuff. That's why they're reaching out to that other company is for them to fulfill a job that they can't do themselves.
That's exactly. But a lot of times they don't realize that. They get into it. They think they bought a website, but all they bought was a shell they have to fill.
That's kind of, I don't know.
I swear to you that there's places out there charging $1,500 to $2,500 or maybe even $3,000 to literally buy a shell that the client has to fill. So they build the shell, and then the client has to fill all of it.
I think that's kind of misleading because I honestly think that when somebody's like, oh, I'm going to hire this company to do this website, they're thinking that they're going to be able to do everything for them.
Right. You got to spell that shit out, though, is what I found. Is that literally people really got to know the breakdown. How much is the shell going to cost, right?
Yeah.
How much is the copywriting going to cost? How much is the search engine optimization going to cost?
But that's like really nice because like, yeah, they're getting the shell, but then they're also getting all like the details of what's inside that shell.
Of what's going to come along with it.
And also what's going to make that website run awesome. And it's something that even if they're going to be spending a little bit more money, at least they know what they're getting and they're going to be happy.
Yep. And in all honesty, guys, that's why we sell so many, because we're rare.
Mm-hmm.
We are a rarity. Like when you come in, when you, it's rare to see the type of proposal that we put together, type of stuff we put together. And I knew that coming into it. I knew that we had to be different than everybody out there. So what you to ask yourself is, how are you different than everybody else out there?
Yeah.
And now I'm not talking about other dent guys. Too many people compare themselves with other dent companies. And too many people advertise like they're advertising to another dent company.
Yeah.
Right? How do you compare in your marketplace, in your market share?
Yeah, because that's what's more important.
Yep. When you look at your direct competition, how are you standing up towards them?
Mm-hmm.
And, don't tell me like, oh, well, I'm better than them and this and that. Well, how does your website or how does your marketing or how is your message to the client and customer, how do you convey that to them?
Yeah.
How do you make them understand that with your marketing message towards them?
Yeah.
Because that's truly what matters. It really doesn't matter how good you are. It does matter how good you are in the end, right? We all want to be great at our craft, but how can you be great at your craft if you can't even get a client and customer to understand that you're the best?
Yeah.
And let's just say you're not the best.
Well,
we all start
out. A lot of
out.
people like hype themselves up,
Yeah, but
like,
we all start out.
talk is cheap, motherfuckers.
Yeah, but we all start out like literally. It doesn't matter. I don't care if I'm getting in something. If I was getting into paintless dent removal tomorrow, I would still try to outsell the client and customer to think that I'm the best. I don't give a fuck what anybody else thinks.
That's true.
Like, I don't care what my competition thinks. I'm going to try to destroy them every step of the way.
Yes, you are.
And above and beyond that. So even, I don't care if you're a 1-year technician, you better be out there working your ass off to convey, to get them clients and customers coming through and walking through your door.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? For the 20-year technician shaking your head saying that's not fair, dude, guess what? Business isn't fucking fair. All right, this isn't
No.
this isn't a participation medal award contest.
No.
This is you get out there and fucking work harder than somebody else. And if a 1-year technician out fucking works you, then you're the stupid motherfucker sitting there making decent money that can't even reinvest in your shit to make yourself bigger and better than them. You're the one that's fucking stupid.
Woo, baby.
That's the truth.
Oh, it is.
You know, that's the truth. You know, businesses, I kind of look at it like this, you know, it's like literally like when you're a kid, right? You got these different groups, right? And some of them are like the goth kids, right? That are over here, right? And then maybe some of them are the artsy kids, right? And then there was like kids like me. I was always playing basketball, football, baseball, right? I was always in competition. So it didn't matter if somebody was better than me. I was trying to figure out a way to beat them, you know? And so regardless, I was always trying to, me and my friends, we were competing, all right? Now, I could see the art people going, oh, you know, that's not fair, right? You know, the whole world's supposed to be fair. Everything's supposed to be even. Well, guess what? That's not the fucking world, and it's not the way it's supposed to be. We're in a
Yeah.
capitalism society, right? Just a little bit of what we've got left of it. And if you're not better, or if you're not perceived as being better by the client and customer, you're going to lose. I mean, there was a guy, I'm not going to say anything bad about him because I really think he's a good guy. But there was a guy specifically, and I'm not going to really say what market he was in, but I know that he was literally, some of the dent guys around would make jokes about, you know, even fixed, you know, even he fixed da's work. And everybody knew that he really wasn't the greatest dent technician, right?
Yeah.
But he still fucking slayed it. Like, he had these car dealerships thinking that they literally, because they were using him as a service provider,
Yeah.
like, you would walk in there, and there was times in the past that I'd walked into his car dealerships. I didn't know him really well till later on, but I had walked into some of his car dealerships. Let's say it's anywhere from way up north Ohio all the way down to Cincinnati. I'm not going to pinpoint the dude because I'm just not going to do it. But I've walked into his car dealerships before, and they literally would say his name like he was some sort of country club. Like they were a member of some sort of country club because they used this one guy. And
Yeah.
every dent guy knew that he was like the worst dent guy that was out there.
Yeah.
But he was really fucking good at making people think he was great.
Fake it till you make it.
No, he was like a 20-some year tech. He's just one that never really got that good. But he had a shit ton of accounts, still probably does. And literally, like, they thought like you would walk into certain BMW dealerships and they'd say, well, we use da-da-da-da-da.
Really?
Just like it was some sort of country club. And he
Oh
had
my
them.
God.
He literally had them to the point to where, and guess what? More power to you, bro. More power to you, man. I mean, if you're not good at what you do, but you can convince everybody to think that you are, that's fucking crazy. You know what I mean? And
So
that's
you had him drinking the Kool-Aid?
he had them drinking the Kool-Aid. So you got to make sure your clients and customers are drinking your Kool-Aid, especially if you're good. You know what I mean? Because now you don't have an excuse.
That's true.
You know, you got to think about the days when you weren't good, what it took for you to grapple through a dent. And think
Yeah.
about the guys that are not good. They have to do that to every dent.
Yeah.
And, you know, it actually cracked me up. There's like a guy on YouTube that, and this just, there's a dude on YouTube. I
dear
don't know his
Lord.
YouTube channel name, but all you dent guys, if you've ever surfed around on YouTube, you probably ran into this guy. And like every dent that he tries to fix never comes out.
Oh my God.
He's a dent guy somewhere, and from my understanding, he erases all the comments, you know, because I guess a bunch of dent guys got on there and flamed him. I thought it was fucking hilarious. I thought it was a bad representation of our work that we do, but it's like, this guy, I was like, oh my God, so he's getting ready to work on a Porsche. And it had me literally watching his shit because of this, right?
Yeah.
And the crazy thing is, the dude has a brand new video every week of some dent that he has some sort of reason why he can't fix. So I would almost go to tell you that dude is probably doing a better job marketing, even with his half-ass dent removal,
Yeah.
because there's enough people that would probably look at it and say, well, that looks better. Or they don't know how to identify the difference between a good repair and a bad repair.
Yeah, that's probably what it is.
Yeah.
That's kind of sad though, man. But you know what though? Like
He
if
literally had me grabbing my popcorn, though.
But I mean, in all honesty though, if you didn't really know what paintless dent repair is, like if you didn't do enough research as a customer to educate yourself exactly what a good repair and what a bad repair is, you wouldn't, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. See, if I was in that guy's market, I would be doing some YouTube videos like crazy educational, like showing people like what a bad repair looks
You
like.
always think though, like if that dude come walking in, like if I didn't know anything about PDR and some guy he told me this is what, this is what's going to happen or something. I don't know. Maybe I think in all honesty, I'd probably look at him and be like, man, I don't know. I would at least have to do some research before I gave him the okay and I was going to fork out that money, whatever he was going to charge me or whatnot.
Right. Yeah, but there's some people that are not as detailed as you.
That's true.
You're the person that vacuums your car every time you pull it into the garage.
Yes.
So because of that, you're extra detailed.
Yeah. And when we get customers in here that are like me and I look inside their car, I'm just like, hell yeah.
We get a lot of them. I mean, I market to that clientele.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, and I'm honest. I mean, if something's really, really bad, I'll let them know whether it's going to come out flawless or not,
Yeah.
But really, the majority of clients that I service like that, their repairs come out flawless, or so close that even a very, very particular customer can't detect, it's flawless in their eyes.
Yeah.
So I always hate to say flawless on stuff because I just believe that, the type of severity of dents that we work on a lot of times, I mean, regardless if it looks flawless in the customer's eyes, it just seems like that I can always just keep, you know what I mean? It's like there's always something, like a little additional that you feel, especially on anything that has a little bit of anything that's extreme. And I will tell you guys, though, I recently did a crease along the bedside of a truck. And I would say if anything came out close to flawless, that thing was close.
That thing was long.
And that was about, I want to say it was about a 7 foot long on the bed. And then it was probably an additional foot into the door.
Yeah.
And the guy left it here for 3 days.
Yeah.
And I really probably picked around on it for somewhere in the neighborhood of probably 8 to 10 hours, I would say. And during that time that he left it here, I took off the top of the bed cap and worked down in through the top of the bed. But it was a Chevy truck, high-strength steel. And I will tell you guys will see the video. I'll be dropping it on YouTube here pretty soon.
Mm-hmm. You look sexy as hell, too. Taking that.
See, this is why us dent guys get hot wives, right? Because we get them big forearms, veins popping out while we're twisting them dents out.
Yeah.
And women, they just, woo! They better bring in a change of underwear when they come to work with us.
Oh, my God.
I went there.
Oh, my God.
So anyhow, guys, to end this podcast, I know we went down a little rabbit hole there.
Yeah.
But be rare, okay?
Yes.
And above and beyond that, be the rare person that puts in the fucking work. We all know, number one, if you listen to this podcast, you know that your happiness is tied to having a dream, having a vision, and putting in the fucking work that it takes to get there.
Yes.
I guarantee you, if you're listening to this podcast, you don't like to fucking lay around.
Nope.
You don't like to just fucking sit there and not do shit all day.
Right.
So, and if you're filling your time like most people are, I guarantee you most people are filling their time with bullshit because I guarantee you guys are hustlers. But I would say 80% of the things that people do is like filler type shit, like checking your email 100 times a day and any bullshit like that, right? Change your habits to actually do things that make high impact, that give a high impact to your day, okay?
Yes.
That's going to change everything. It's going to change the way you feel. It's going to change how quickly your business moves to the top or beyond that. And it changes everything.
And be that diamond. Because remember, it's hard being a diamond in a rhinestone world.
That's right. Be rare. All right, guys. So anyhow, y'all, look forward to seeing you on that next one. And just so you know, I have not forgot about the website podcast. I keep getting people that are going back and re-listening to the very first one where I was talking about the everything that you need in a website. I honestly got to listen to it and internalize what I said the first time.
Yeah.
So I can come back and I'm not going to be redundant.
Yeah. You be on it.
Because I had a lot of shit to say, but she had an appointment and we had to bail out.
Yeah, that's right.
So
You have to take care
I think we might be doing that this Thursday. Between now and Thursday, I'm going to listen to that motherfucker.
All right.
Watch, I'll probably come on here and be like, hey, guys, I haven't listened to it yet. So anyhow, y'all, right here goes a Marketing Monday.
Yes.
We look forward to seeing you on that next one.
And remember, it's all about the hustle.
Write us a review, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Pew, pew.
Bang, bang.